Hi, we're here at DevNexus at the Speakeasy, and I'm super happy to be with Marcus Hellberg. So, Marcus.
Hey, welcome. It's so nice to be here. Almost welcomed you to your own speakeasy, but
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, we have been doing a Speakeasy at DevNexus for several years, so
yeah,
being here is actually being almost at home.
it is almost like I've seen this couch here for
Yeah.
so many years.
And
And finally, I'm here.
yes, and it is a really good conference
Yeah.
today. It has been very, very busy. Is this your first time at DevNexus?
No, I've been to DevNexus for, I want to say 7 consecutive times.
Oh my God, you're a veteran!
Yes.
Perfect!
So I've seen it at the old location and I've seen it here, and it's been fun to watch it grow. It was obviously a little bit smaller last year, but now it's again bigger. It's so
Yes.
nice to see this many people in one place.
Yes.
The thing I love about DevNexus is just it's such a community-driven event. There are
Exactly.
so many actual developers. It's not just the same jaded crowd of architects that go to 5 conferences
No.
a year.
Yes, this is super technical. You're speaking with developers that like
Exactly.
get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the Spring Boot and Reactive?
Yeah, so I work at Vaadin, and what we do is we essentially help companies who are on Java backends build really great web applications. And
Okay.
for that, we have 2 different frameworks. One, which is kind of the classic Vaadin flow framework that a lot of people have heard about, which is all Java. And what I was talking about today is our new framework called Hilla, which is essentially a Spring Boot backend with a React front end and type-safe communication between the two. So regardless of which framework you use, you still get the same set of UI components, you get end-to-end type safety, and kind of a integrated experience. So the idea is that as you're developing, like if you refactor something, you break something in the UI, you actually get a compile time error even in your React code, as opposed to finding out about that later on.
Very later on and much
Uh,
more expensive.
Yeah, and it's also like nice, like I'm sure if you're like familiar with Java development, you know all the benefits of having a type language. Like sure, it's nice to catch errors, but it's also like it allows your IDE to be so much more helpful with autocomplete because it knows what what methods there are, what return values you get, and having all of that information accessible right in the IDE instead of like having a different browser window where you're trying to see like which URL maps to what data type and stuff. It just kind of reduces a lot of boilerplate and stuff that you normally have to do. So it's really like with both frameworks, we're sort of just focusing on developer productivity and making it easy to build these more kind of complex business type applications where you have complex screens and lots of data, and how do you make those types of applications easy to build?
No, to tell you the truth, I mean, I used to use your components, the Java version, and I also, when we were developing the front end, because yes, I did both things, or I still do both things. I'm a core Java developer,
Yeah.
but I'm not afraid to go all the places. I still identify like a Java developer most
Yeah.
of the time, and this is my community.
Yeah,
And I
for
love
sure.
coming back here because there's a lot of people that I know and I'm very dear, and they are very dear for me. Like, I think this is a conference where more Java champions are, and so for me, it's coming home.
Yeah, no, I like the speaker dinners and everything are just legendary. So if you're considering like if you want to get into speaking and meet like a lot of awesome Java folks, this is a great
Yes,
conference to
this
get
is
started.
one of the best ones that you can ever pick.
Yeah.
Okay, I told you I was using your different components, and there are really, at that time when I was actually doing either Polymer, because you had the web components version too. Now
Yeah.
I'm actually intrigued to see what you build in the newest versions, and I know that you work with very rich feature components that actually resolves developers' life really easy.
Yeah.
Like out of the box functionality that is really awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were really early on with web components back in the day, and it's been nice to see those now being picked up in all the browsers, and that was it was a painful transition for us to like redo that full rich set of components. But now that we have them as web components, like when we added support for React, that was quite easy because we can still use the same components. We just added a tiny little React compatibility layer there, which just tells JSX, how to interact with them. And for most modern frameworks, besides React, you don't even need that. You can just straight up use them in Angular or Vue as they are, which is great because now if a new framework comes out, we don't need to redo our components, and that's not really like productive work, redoing the same work all over the time. So
no, I'm actually very, very happy because we had that maturity. Well, if you think about like our UI interfaces, like it was Swing, JavaFX, and everything like that. In the Java world, it was very, very stable. We didn't have as many options like in the JavaScript. And one of the complaints was that they change so fast that you have to like update everything every 3 years or every 5 years.
Yeah.
But I think we have reached a state of maturity now, as you said.
For sure.
Now we have really nice components, and then what we are targeting is only the compatibility and integration layers.
Yeah, and that allows us, again, as developers to focus more of our actual time and effort on building what's interesting, which is like delivering user value.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, so it's like any time you spend on like trying to get a data grid to work in some browser combination, like that's time away from you spending time on building actual user features and making your end users' lives better. So that's what we try to like make. Like we try to automate as much of that work as possible, so you can focus more on the like actually meaningful and fun part of development.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about coming back to face-to-face events? I mean, this is not the first DevNexus face-to-face after COVID, but I think this is the first time when I feel like we are back, really back.
Yeah, last year was a little like, everyone was a little on edge, like, I don't know. It's like, let's see what happens. And this year definitely like, it feels a lot more like DevNexus like before the pandemic, where it's a lot more relaxed, laid back, and it's just, and I've talked to a lot of people who are now at their first event like post-pandemic, and they're really enjoying just that face-to-face interaction, just getting to talk to developers. And I mean, to me at least, like that's what I really enjoy about conferences. Like I can go on an online like webinar and do my talk, but I don't get to speak to developers afterwards and have those conversations with folks in the hallway, and that's really where
the hallway track is impressive, and you also get this feedback from an actual question.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, I don't know, but sometimes I don't get the question asked at the session. But after they see you, they stop you, and they're like, I have this question.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen online.
Yeah, and then you can open up your laptop and explore it together, and it's like, it's so fun to be able to do that.
The impromptu peer programming sessions,
Yeah.
I have seen them, and I'm like, yes, this is what makes this kind of events so worth it.
Yeah, and it's fun, like you pick up just like small ideas from people, and then in your brain you connect that with something else, and you get like an entirely new idea, and you're like, yes, I'm gonna go and build that now. And it's like you get exposed to so many things that are just outside of that narrow thing that you're working on normally. And that's something that I really appreciate too with just coming to events, is just getting a much wider perspective on what, not just what we're doing, but what's everyone in the ecosystem doing. And
I totally agree with you, because when you are at home and watching virtual content, it's there, but you don't change your context, your mental context. But well, you come here, as you're walking into the venue, you get into this, I'm going to learn so much stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so TLDR, we like conferences.
Yeah, I think we were very, very clear about that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Any final thoughts for our audience?
No, well, I mean, if anyone is here and you want to come and talk to us, we have a booth over there. We have these T-shirts, and if you're not here, you can hit us up or hit me up on Marcus Hellberg on the screen. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.